Hello everyone! The inspiration for this storyline tutorial is my dog Toby. When Toby joined our family last year, we started searching for a good pet insurance policy for him. And after visiting several websites, I came across this interesting interaction on one of them. Let me show you. My favorite part about the single choice activity is that when you make a choice, the selected pet changes from a black icon into a colorful image that is accompanied by a quick up or down animation. First consideration was to select an interesting topic where this kind of interaction could have a significant impact. It's not just about adding another animation to the course. It has to prove useful and add to learners' experience. I am e-learning developer in the animal health sector, so staying on the cat-dog topic was my initial idea. Cats and dogs are most beloved and popular domestic animals across the globe, but their abilities vary quite a lot. Keeping the interaction purpose and the value it should bring in mind, I decided to focus on hearing abilities. We begin with an outline view of both animals, and once the selection has been made, the picture is changed into a GIF. I went a step further by creating short animation with the animal flapping its ears, blinking and waving its tail, instead of showing still image. Also, you will hear and be able to see an animated bird chirping. Since we're talking about hearing, I thought it would be relevant to show the source of a sound and how animals react to it. The images should also return to normal view in two cases. Once when you toggle a selection, or when you pick the other animal. Here is a step-by-step guide on how to achieve this result in Articulate Storyline. We see a question and bird chirping layer first. Bird chirping is a 10-second MP4 video with audio. A question fades in and the bird slides down in the same time. As soon as the bird lands on the double T's in the word better, it sings for a few seconds and then the animation is still for the rest of the time. Once the timeline ends on this layer, I only want the singing bit to be repeated, so I have the jump to cue point set that makes the layer looping. You can see a black and white image of a cat and dog on the base layer, but they are placed into separate scrolling panels. I will explain all the functionality using the cat example. Selecting the cat, you will see that this is actually part of a group. I will expand the scrolling panel so we can have a better view. You see the outline picture on the top and the color GIF on the bottom. This group has a half-a-second motion path applied up and down. The relative start point must be active for both motion paths. In this case, the path length matches the height of the scrolling panel that acts as a mask. Whenever the image is moved up or down, the scrolling panel makes the image visible only within its boundary. For the dog, similar settings are applied. However, the motion paths are longer because he is taller. There are also two selection buttons included in a few states that are part of the Pick One interaction. You will first want to select both buttons and ensure that the button set is ticked as none. The reason for this is because we want the button to work as a toggle. So once it has been clicked, it becomes selected, and once it has been clicked again, it gets back to normal. If you prefer, you can convert this interaction into Pick Many and skip the button set step. There are only two variables in my project, and that is enough to make the interaction work with a bunch of triggers. Let's go over the triggers that make all the magic happen. The cat variable is set to true when the animation up has finished, and false when the animation down has been completed. A similar set of triggers is applied to the dog variable when the motion path on a dog image are completed. There are 5 different actions that take place when you click the selection button. Let's look at the cat option first. We start by making the image of a cat go up or down, depending on if the cat variable is false or true. The second step is to animate the dog image down if it was previously selected. Our next step is to change the dog selection button to normal. And the last step is to show the block layer. The layer length matches the duration of the motion paths on cat and dog, and the prevent user from clicking on other layers option is selected. This is so that motion path lasting half a second can finish on the base layer. After the layer timeline is finished, the layer gets hidden and selection button can be tapped again. By using this solution, we can ensure that the animation won't break if the learner clicks repeatedly or too quickly on a button. Similar settings are applied to the dog selection button, but we refer to the dog variable instead. When the learner selects an option and taps the submit button, we see a similar set of triggers on the feedback layers. First, we change the cat and dog selection buttons to see which option is correct and which not. The short audio is also played at the same time. The selection buttons disappear after 2 seconds, and the dog image flies out of the screen using the right motion path. The cat is the correct answer, and we want the focus to be on him. Next, the feedback text slides in with some visuals. On the incorrect feedback, an additional trigger is executed once the ear image appears to change the cat image to colored GIF in order to highlight that this is the correct response. So that's how it all works. You only need 2 or more variables if you'd like to present more choices, a few motion paths, a number of triggers, and the engaging interaction is ready. Now I have to tell Toby that his hearing isn't as good as our neighbor's cat Derek. I'm offering this storyline example as a free download on my website. Thanks for watching and goodbye!